Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. This one is another one for the Greece series. As you may have heard before, this was my 20th time going to Greece. Pretty much every single family holiday of mine ever has been to Greece. And throughout the years, I have been lucky enough to visit the best archaeological sites in all of the country. If you want, you can find separate vlogs, travel vlogs, road trip vlogs, but also my ultimate Peloponnese guide in which a lot of these will be mentioned. Because the majority of the places that I'll be mentioning are actually on the southern mainland of Greece. But there's definitely a lot more to see, so let's get into it. Starting with obviously the most famous archaeological site in Greece, the Acropolis in Athens. The Acropolis is not just one temple, it is actually the entire hill on which this archaeological complex is built. It is a complex of multiple different buildings, with the main one obviously being the Parthenon. But aside from this, you will have amazing views over the amphitheaters and the city. Obviously, I had to start off with this one because it is the main archaeological site in all of Greece, and you simply cannot miss it. They have also opened a really beautiful new archaeological museum that is definitely worth a visit as well. Next up is a much lesser known site. I didn't even know it until I was there, and it blew me away. This is potentially the best hidden gem in all of Greece. It is the tombs of Aigai. It is located in northern Greece, in the province Macedonia, which means that it is also where a lot of the Macedonian royals were buried here. And if you know a little bit about Greek history, then you will know that Alexander the Great was actually Macedonian or from the north of Greece. So the people buried in this tomb were his relatives. It is a subterranean tomb, meaning you will go underneath a hill, and this entire hill is filled with different kinds of tombs. There are two main ones, of which the facade is still pretty much perfectly intact. The whole museum is filled with objects of pure gold. There is just so much to see here still that has been so well preserved. And the main person in this tomb is Philip II, which was Alexander the Great's father. So this is just such an important royal burial place, and it just completely blew us away. Another one near Athens is Delphi. Delphi was known for the Oracle of Delphi, meaning that people from all over the country made their way to Delphi to hear the oracle of the Pythia, the high priestess. Delphi, you kind of have to use your imagination. There is still quite a lot on site, but not all of it is in the best shape. But the most impressive thing about the site is the location, the views from these mountains. You just get a mystical feeling anyways. It's so incredible. And then I went into the museum, and I thought most of the archaeological important findings are not in Greece anymore, or let alone at the site itself. It'll be in a bigger archaeological museum somewhere around the world, or even in Athens. However, when I entered the Museum of Delphi, there he was, the charioteer of Delphi. This is a bronze statue that used to have enormous horses in front of it as well, and it is completely molded in one piece, so you can still see the eyelashes so well. This is one of the most incredible statues of ancient Greek history, and there it was in Delphi. Next up, let's head on down to the Peloponnese, so the southern mainland of Greece. This is where you will find Mycene. This site is located very close to Nafplio, which is the previous capital of Greece. According to legends and ancient writings, this is where Agamemnon, the big Greek royal, he used to live and rule, and this is also where they found the big gold burial mask that he was buried with. It's also famous for its lion gate, and also, once again, it has great views. This is also a really good one to visit. Next up is Epidavros. Epidavros has the most famous amphitheater in the whole entire world. The way the sound travels from downstairs all the way up to the top of the amphitheater is so incredibly fascinating. On site, there is also the remnants of the temple of Asclepius, who was the god of medicine. So from all over the country, people would go to Epidavros to be healed. This is where lots of healers were, and it was a very important place. in Greek ancient medicine. Aside from this, the Peloponnese is also home to Olympia, which is where you can find the ancient Olympian ruins. So there is still a running track. This I don't really have any images of because I remember running on this Olympic running track with my little cousin when I was very tiny still. It has been a while since I've been there, but I do remember it being worthwhile. Another site that is not worth visiting is Sparta. Believe it or not, but Sparta on the mainland of Greece is so badly just kept. It is not much more than some stones covered in grass, unfortunately, because this is such an important, big name in Greek history, but what's left of it is not very impressive. Another ancient Greek civilization that has gone down in history as being super important and just has a lot of mystery surrounding it is the Minoan culture on Crete. You can visit the palace of Knossos on Crete, which was the home of the infamous king Minos. It dates back to about 2 millennia before Christ. And it kind of gave me Pompeii vibes, simply because there's still some kind of the kitchens with the big vases. There is the famous mural that is still pretty much intact. Definitely visit the museum if you want to see lots of mosaics and frescoes. A lot of it has been obviously reconstructed or restored, so it is not entirely, amazingly preserved, because they did put some work back into it in the 20th century. Other than that, near Athens, there is the Temple of Sunion, which I haven't personally visited, but it is kind of on the edge with the ocean, so it's a very popular one for photography and also sunset photography. And then aside from this, some more modern sites that you definitely should visit are Meteora in the north of Greece. These monasteries, sitting on top of these alone standing rocks, are such a unique place to visit, but also the scenery and this whole area is probably one of the most beautiful landscapes I've seen in all of Europe, which I think says a lot. Anyway, that is what I believe should be the sites that you definitely put on your bucket list if you are going on a big Greek road trip. I hope you found this video interesting. If you did, then definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Next up, I'll be going to Indonesia and the Philippines. Very excited. So definitely subscribe, and then I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!